Previously on Phoenix Wright's Spirit of Justice.
So those flying dinosaurs! It is! It's a real-life pterodactyl, dude! Oh my god, is that Clavier? It's Clavier Dactyl! Oh my god, Clavier's a pterodactyl again! What are you talking about? Ah! And now, back to channeling people!
Hello! This is NicoB, back with some more Phoenix Wright's Spirit of Justice. When we last left off, we got started on the DLC case, and our good old pal Larry made his fucking return, and I'm just still not terribly happy about it, but whatever. It's happening, so get over it, Nico. That said, though, like, Larry aside, like, not even taking him in the equation, I'm not, like, terribly pumped about this case either. I mean, at least not yet. I haven't really been grabbed yet. Right now, I feel like this is sort of setting up for stupid, ridiculous bullshit. Because whenever we get to the shit that starts to seem kind of supernatural, that isn't spirit medium related, the logic tends to kind of go out the window, and it just starts to get really stupid. I hope that's not the case, and I hope they're not gonna pull a cape coincidentally landing on a statue being pulled in the air, so made to look like a flying person, or the bullshit of the woman being transported across the bridge with a rope. But seeing as we're talking about like fucking pterodactyls out the window and Larry's dumb art again, and it's just like, I don't know. It's giving me bad feelings. I feel like the only good things I have for this case, in fact, we're teaming up with Maya again, and we're going against Edgeworth, which is nice. I also like Ellen Wyatt. I like her little animations. It's just so funny when she's like pulling out a ladle up and just baking them together. It's so random, but it's so funny looking. Like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum, like, listen to me! By the way, you guys told me the pun for Ellen Wyatt is all in white. Ah, of course, that's a good one. But I mean, I even actually saw when I went back to edit what the quote-unquote pterodactyl was. And I will say, I thought it's a bit strange that they had him saying that he saw a pterodactyl while literally standing right next to the thing that he actually saw, which is the broken sign. And you can actually look over and see that it's cut out in exactly the same shape that he had drawn out. So I'm guessing, like, they said a bench, like, flew into it, right? And, knocked, like, pieces of it into the air. I mean, I'm sure it'll be, relevant to the case and solve some big mystery, but this case doesn't have me feeling like, oh man, I'm so engaged in how they fit, like, how do they do this shit or something. I'm just kind of like more dreading where they're going with this. Not to be a spoil sport or anything, but I just want to be honest with you guys how I'm feeling about the case so far. And like I said, I'd love to be proven wrong. But anyway, let's go to the first trial of the case. It does seem pretty clear to me that the butler is going to end up being the bad guy. I don't know, the fact that he was pushing so hard for them to kind of like drop the case, and then he was going to Ellen and he's like, I totally believe you did it, and with 1,000,000% certainty. If he ends up being anyone else, I'm gonna be shocked. But yeah, looking at actually seeing Soren and him act and stuff, I'm pretty sure it's not him. Oh, and I'm betting, by the way, that Soren probably got into time travel, right, because he wanted to be able to go back in time and save his dead sister. September 22nd, 8:45 a.m. District Court, defendant number 3!
Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Ellen. So you're still wearing your wedding gown?
Of course, you think the artists are gonna give me a different outfit. But at this point, I will continue to wed until our marriage is saved. Ah! Oh, Soren!
He's just standing there just like, I don't know you, I don't even like you.
Do you think he came here to see how she's holding up?
Oh, she's pulling it out from under her dress. Okay, that's where she's been getting it from. The attendant center, I couldn't really see where she was grabbing that stuff from.
Soren, my love, you came all the way to the closet to see me? Oh, Soren, I don't know what to say.
Who are you again? Blueprints.
Huh?
The engine blueprints. I can't find them. Do you know where they are?
Oh, they're in your room. They're shelf on the bottom on the right-hand side.
Okay, bye. Ah, I see. And he's gone. He's leaving already.
Don't tell me you came just to ask about some stupid blueprints. Is he really that cold of a person? Or is that just how he comes off, I wonder?
Don't give a fuck.
What about me, Soren?
Was there ever a point where he was sweet to you? Or was that all in her crazy little brain? Ellen. He's back.
come home soon. I'm lost without you.
Oh, there we go. Oh God! Rivers of water and filling the courthouse.
Later.
Looks like showing your vulnerabilities is the fastest way to capturing a woman's heart.
There we go. All right. He is actually capable of expressing emotions, apparently.
Just take notes on this, Nick.
Fuck you. I should take notes on how to be a big stoic asshole. Okay. I've already gone through my asshole phase, Maya. Please let me out of this. Stop crying at me, Ellen. Anyway, it looks like Soren isn't big on words. It's clear that he cares about Ellen. Knowing that, I just feel kind of relieved.
Okay, here we go.
Put the mecha back on.
Loose! Mr. Wright! I just absolutely can't be found guilty, you hear?
Don't worry. I'm gonna do everything I can to prove your innocence.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
The trial's about to start, sir. Get your weird ass in here. It's gonna be just like the old days.
Edgeworth, my love, and arch nemesis. Knowing him, he's not going to yield an inch. So I've just got to fight with everything I've got and save Ellen.
Yeah, this case to me sort of feels a lot like a case 3, you know, of a lot of these games, where they're kind of like just the weaker ones. It's a bit of the opposite, honestly, of Dual Destinies' last game, where the DLC case was actually, I think, the best case in that whole freaking game, weirdly enough. And yes, I think I might have even liked it better than the final case of that game. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, I realize. I mean, I haven't even seen the end of this. It might just have a bit of a slow start.
September 22nd, 9 a.m., Discord order number 6! I look taller today. Am I taller? I feel like I'm standing up or something. Well, I have been eating my vegetables, ladies. I am a growing boy, after all.
Yes, you are, OG.
Anyway, the court is now in session for the trial of Ella Wyatt. Defense is ready, Your Honor.
We're going old school. Prosecution's been ready for a while, Your Honor.
I've been ready since the game 1, baby. Seeing so many familiar faces gathered together like this, I feel as though I'm at a grand reunion. Makes me want to go out for dinner and have a drink. Reminisce with all of you about turkey sandwiches and Edgeworth smashing my sandwich and me plotting to kill him in his sleep. Maya talk about her yaoi. Comedian and I making out on a daily basis. I mean, just so many good, weird times.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. I was dying for a real burger the whole time I was away.
We can make it a welcome back party for Maya. How about it, Edgeworth?
No! That sounds horrible! I have no intention of cavorting with my enemies. You are gonna die today, Mr. Wright! Now then, Your Honor, let's start this trial at once.
Glad to see you're still a fucking asshole, Edgeworth. Still not for lighthearted banter, are you, Mr. Edgeworth?
Huh. Jokes and good humor are beyond worthless in a court of law.
Didn't any of your spin-off games teach you valuable life lessons, Edgeworth?
No! All I did was learn of the importance of Connect 4! Go for it! Connect 4!
Whoa, what?
Yes, that's right. I've got my own inside jokes. In your face, Wright!
You're supposed to have the party without him, then.
However, word after the conclusion of this trial, I might consider joining you for your little welcome back party. But only if you have Connect 4 there. I certainly wouldn't mind an invite, at the very least.
Still as emotionally constipated as ever, I see.
That's why I love him so. Now there, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please go over the details of this case for us.
The victim was Dumas Gloomsbury, a servant in the Sprocket household. He was in attendance at the wedding reception that occurred from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mr. Gloomsbury apparently felt some animosity toward Ellen Wyatt, and so, a bit after the reception ended at 10 p.m., he assaulted Miss Wyatt with the intent to kill her. The defendant fought back and ended up killing Mr. Gloomsbury.
In other words, it was justified self-defense, correct? If that's the case, the defendant might not be criminally responsible.
He's right. Risky scenario. I go for self-defense to avoid the criminal charge. Our Edgeworth plans to counter that, though.
The prosecution's first witness will make my view on the matter clear, Your Honor.
Very well. Bailiff!
Yes, Sudgy.
Please bring in the first witness.
All right. Who we got?
Of course, it's gonna be you, Miss Emma Sky, and your fucking thick legs. Ah! Have you guys noticed that lately? For every one of these games, we're always starting at the feet and going all the way up when they go up the stand.
Please state your name and occupation, witness.
Emma Sky, forensic investigator. And I'd just like to say, sir, that being in the same courtroom as you is a great honor. Remember when I used to have the hots for you when I was a little girl? Oh, who am I kidding? I still have the hots for you! Come here, Angie!
Huh?
Oh, that's right. You're a fan of Edgeworth, are you, Emma?
We're good friends and all, Mr. Wright. But just this once, I intend to faithfully and fully testify for the prosecution. And I do mean that wholeheartedly. Fuck you, Mr. Wright!
Ah, damn it, Emma!
Ha! I expect no less from you.
Yes, sir. I'm going to do my very best.
That's right. That whole her having the hots for Edgeworth was a bit of an inside joke. It did actually stem from her really being a fan of Edgeworth, even in the old games.
Looks like you lost the popularity contest, Mr. Edgeworth, Nick.
Nah, I really could care less. Besides, we'll see who's the better lawyer once I win this trial.
Yeah, maybe then you'll actually really care less.
I'll show her. I'm cool too.
Now, Dr. Sky, if you please.
Okie dokie, what you got for us, Emma? Run down the case.
The murder weapon was a clock called the timekeeper.
It's always a fucking clock.
Victim was hit with it from behind, and he fell over right into the lantern. The defendant was spotted then, standing in front of the body holding the murder weapon. The victim was struck twice, by the way.
Oh.
He was struck twice. Oh, there's the fucking loophole.
That's right. There's no mistake about it. First blow was to the back of the victim's head. It was hard enough to knock him unconscious. Yet despite the fact that he had been immobilized by the first blow, the defendant delivered a second, fatal blow to the side of the victim's head.
Which means, what exactly?
Oh, see little bugger head.
Look at that Edgeworth eyebrow.
Huh, figured it would go right over your dumb fucking spiky head. Let's put it this way, by striking the victim a second time, the defendant killed her last chance to escape from any criminal wrongdoing.
She did? But how, Mr. Edgeworth?
Really, Your Honor? God! Do I have to spell it out for you? The defendant may have been fighting back because she was being attacked. However, she then went on to deliver a fatal blow to a man who was already fully unconscious.
Nick, is he saying what I think he is?
I don't feel so.
Ah, big hand time! And thus, Mr. Wright has justified self-defense has been removed from the table. The prosecution intends to prove that the defendant killed the victim with murderous intent. Allow me to belatedly submit the victim's autopsy report. Oh, and I bid you all adieu.
So that's why he was acting all smug. Well, more smug than usual.
It's fine, right? It's not like we're going to plead self-defense anyway, right?
Right, but the judge has a negative impression of Ellen.
That weird girl? She keeps trying to polish my head. Get away from me!
It must be pure spick and span, spick and span!
God damn it! Stop it! My head is shiny enough as it is.
Huh?
He may not get to prosecute much anymore, but he definitely hasn't lost his touch. All right, let's have a look at the autopsy report. Oh wait, it hasn't been added yet. Hurry up and add it. There we go.
Bloomsbury's head shows signs of being hit twice. Timekeeper was used as the murder weapon.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
I suppose it's always possible that she did knock him out at some point, and then somebody came up later and hit him again. September 20th, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., time of death. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage from a strong blow to the head. One contusion was found on the back of the head and one on the side. The blows were caused by the same weapon. Okay.
All right, time to press. Bring it on, Edgeworth. I haven't said that in a long time. Running out of the case.
Okay, the murder weapon was a clock called the timekeeper.
Hold it! What's a clock? I'm completely sure the murder weapon was the timekeeper.
Yes, completely. The shape of the injury on the victim's head matches up with that of the timekeeper, and it's definitely heavy enough to kill someone with.
But would the defendant have been able to pick it up and swing something so heavy?
I tried it myself, and I was able to lift it up just fine.
Maybe you're just freakishly strong. You and your big gorilla hands.
Excuse me, Mr. Wright! I'll have you know that people in the force know me as the dainty forensic investigator. Hold me these! Am I right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Sure. Whatever, Emma.
Sorry, but really, you're hardly a delicate flower. You could curb stomp a motherfucker.
Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. Save your antics for after the trial, if you know how.
Yes, sir. Won't happen again, sir.
Huh. Moving on. Did I get an apology?
The victim was hit with it from behind, and he fell over right into the lantern.
The defendant was fighting back against the victim, right? If so, wouldn't you have hit him from the front and not from behind?
The victim must have tried to run once Miss White started fighting back. That's probably when he got hit from behind.
I see. That's the blow to the back of his head.
The defendant must have looked awfully scary when she was brandishing that clock.
I don't know about that.
She's like just shooting tears out of her eyes. That's actually what caused him to fall down. She's shooting so many tears out of her eyes, it caused him to slip and fall on the ground and smash his head into the clock.
Oh, damn! Damn me and my ridiculous geyser-like tear ducts!
Regardless of how scary Ellen looked, the victim was definitely hit from behind.
May I go on?
Yes, of course. Please do.
The defendant was spotted then, standing in front of the body, holding the murder weapon.
But that's only because she was so panicked when she found the body. But she tried to use the timekeeper to go back in time. Objection! Objection!
Mr. Wright, you guys point out, by the way, that was actually used in Dual Destinies. That same one. I thought it was sort of familiar, but I kind of forgot. Sorry, so much of that game was a bit of a blank after a bit. Mr. Wright, do you have any idea how absurd you sound?
But Miss White really believed that she could travel through time with that clock.
You really should have come up with a more credible story, you know. Yes, I agree. You're sounding cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, Mr. Wright.
Me 3, but it's all I've got to go on.
Anyway, under the circumstances, the only conclusion we could draw is that the defendant killed the victim.
The victim was struck twice, by the way.
Miss White must have had a chance to escape after she struck the victim the first time. So why would she stick around and hit him with such a heavy object again? Make sure he stayed dead.
Well, about that.
Allow me to explain. Why did she strike him again, indeed? To finish off the victim, of course. This very act clearly shows that she had every intention of killing Mr. Gloomsbury.
Oh,
But Miss White would never do a thing like that.
Then let's see some evidence that disproves my theory.
Ah! Are you going to just stand there and take that from him, Nick?
can't refute his claim head on, so I'll have to approach it from a different angle. I don't know, it actually isn't terribly often I feel like that actually shoot down what Emma talks about. Most time I just press you and I get the information and then we move on. Okay, well, we do have her sort of vague testimony.
When Ellen was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury on the Vista deck, she saw a dazed state, a shadowy figure hit Gloomsbury from behind. She faded immediately afterwards and thus didn't get a good look at where it was.
Objection!
Whoops.
Oh, by the way, I realized when I went back to edit last episode too, where these little petals that were scattered around the body were from. We saw it in a picture of the hold here. Over to the right! Not quite sure what significance that'll hold, but I guess it shows that he was in that room initially.
Objection!
Okay. Talking about why you say fell over right into the lantern, but if that were the case, shouldn't he be lying face down?
Take the sky. I'm afraid I have to apologize in advance.
For what?
For embarrassing you in front of your idol. About to get wrecked, girl.
What do you mean?
You take a look at this photo of the crime scene. We'll see the victim is lying on his back. But if the victim had been hit from behind, as you claim, then he should have fallen over into the lantern face down. It's not enough to simply take someone's side, Detective Sky. If it's Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh.
There does appear to be a flaw in the Detective Sky's testimony.
Hold it! Mr. Wright, I think I'm going to just back down right now, then you're sadly mistaken.
I was unusually fired up today.
Don't forget, she's in front of her hero, Nick. If the Steel Samurai came to watch this trial, I'd want to do my absolute best, too.
You mean Hugh Jackman?
No, not Hugh Jackman! Steel Samurai!
They're the same thing!
Listen, Mr. Wright. It's entirely possible that the defendant moved the victim's body after he fell over. In that case, there wouldn't be any contradiction, right?
Indeed. That was an excellent counter-argument, Detective. Except when they walked in, right? They said they saw her holding the time thing again, right? Why would she have picked it back up? I guess that she was playing to put it back?
You can count on me, sir. So, what do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright?
Is that possible that the victim's body was moved after he fell into the lantern?
Oh, no. It isn't, because he's got shit on top of him.
It's not possible! Blah! Sorry, Detective. There's no way the victim's body was moved after his death.
Oh, really? What makes you so sure?
Look at this here. It should become obvious. The debris on top of him.
Those broken bits of the lantern?
Yes. If the body had been moved after the fact, these fragments would have fallen off of it. As you can clearly see, they're lying perfectly undisturbed on top of the body. This means that the victim must have been lying face up from before the lantern even broke.
You're right. But wait a minute. If that's true, then when was the victim killed? I mean, the lantern was still whole during the reception, right?
Right, which means we just overturned a major assumption about this case. The victim was already dead before the lantern was even broken. And the body must have been inside the lantern before the reception started. Ugh. In other words, the defense asserts that the victim was killed before the wedding reception. Blah, 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 blah. In other words, or in short, well, Miss Wyatt was seen standing in front of the body after the reception. It wasn't the moment just after the murder was committed. It was the moment she happened to discover the body, just as Miss Wyatt claims.
Objection! Huh. Whether the act was committed before or after the reception is entirely inconsequential. After all, it was the defendant who prepared the reception hall for the event in question. Ha! Therefore, when the murder occurred, it changes nothing with regard to her guilt. She could have killed the victim before the reception, as you claim, and then tried to hide his body in the lantern after the event ended.
Blah, blah. Sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, where would the body have been hidden during the reception in your scenario?
That's...
You have to admit, Mr. Edgeworth, that this has opened up a new possibility.
Do explain, Mr. Wright.
Well, Miss White didn't commit the crime in the reception hall. Well, that means someone, somewhere put the victim's body into the lantern.
Suppose that makes sense. The dead body couldn't have put itself in there.
Exactly, Your Honor. In other words, if the murder actually occurred before the reception, it opens up the possibility that
he was killed somewhere else, the defendant didn't do it, he was killed some other way. He was killed somewhere else.
The body was hidden inside the lantern. It is possible that the body was moved along with it from somewhere else, which is probably down the hold. Those flower petals were.
Oh, you're right!
You can run that mouth of yours all you want. But do you have any evidence to support what's coming out of it, Mr. Wright?
Of course I do! I think the answer lies in that piece of evidence. And something that was left at the crime scene that will point us to where the victim was really killed. Okay, here we go.
Very well, Mr. Wright. In that case, what proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else?
Take that!
Photo the victim again.
Photo the victim again? Again!
Yes. I'd like the court to focus on this thing right here.
Flower petals, Mr. Wright.
These petals are from a kind of flower that were not present in the reception hall. This means they must have gotten into the lantern when it was somewhere else.
Just where do you propose this somewhere else to be, Mr. Wright?
I propose that this piece of evidence will tell us where the flower petals came from. Let's take a look at the flowers in this picture of the hole. So their petals are of the same shape as the petals in the crime scene photo.
Yes, I see. They do look to be from the same kind of flower.
Objection!
I seriously sound like Sean Connery when I do that. Huh, is that really all you've got? A flower is a flower is a flower. They're all the same. I would hardly call what you presented compelling evidence. Afraid I couldn't disagree with you more, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, get wrecked. Huh? What? What do you mean? I gave a flower of this type to my lovely wife once when we were young. So I can assure you this is a very meaningful and compelling evidence indeed. The soundness of my judgment in this matter is backed by nothing less than pure love. You little shit, you want to die today? Huh? But Your Honor, don't you love me best? No. Phoenix is my new favorite now. No! No!
Let it go, Mr. Edgeworth, and move on!
And then Nina comes out.
Well done, Mr. Wright. High five.
High five! Yeah! Ah! Clearly you don't understand much about flowers. It's like you have anyone you'd actually give any to after all. Oh! Savage! But maybe you should study up on them, just in case the opportunity presents itself.
Ah! You dick! Don't you bring my love life into this. It's from the man who knows only the names of 3 types of flowers.
That's hardly relevant to the case at hand. The defense asserts that it's highly probable the victim was killed in the hold. The body was then placed in the lantern and moved to the reception hall for some reason. It would completely destroy the prosecution's case.
You mean the body was?
Blah. Yes, victim's body was inside the lantern during the entire beautiful wedding reception. His dead, lifeless body. While the defendant and their patrol were celebrating their love. He was sticking up the place.
Objection! Objection! Don't wag my little finger, you. Huh. Your smooth talk might work on his honor, but it won't work on me.
What are you talking about now?
Take another look at all the evidence and you'll soon see what I mean.
I wish you would just tell me already.
That is Sky. I'm sure you've already figured out what I'm talking about, correct?
Ha ha ha! Of course, sir. Mr. Wright is the only one here who has it. Why don't you leave this to me, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well. Let's see what you can do. Let's see if you can prove useful to me. Dr. Sky, please hear your testimony to this court. Okay. What you got again? Okay, prosecution's rebuttal.
The victim could not have been killed before the reception. The autopsy report states that the estimated time of death was after the reception. And that estimated time of death is correct. There's no way it could be wrong.
Okay.
It's clear Mr. Gloomsbury was killed after the reception, and that completely contradicts your claim.
I guess so.
Tell me you took at least a cursory glance at the autopsy report, Mr. Wright. It appears you've grown rusty since our last outing. Might I suggest you go back and brush up on the basics?
Sure, but I must say, you're as cocky as ever, Mr. Edgeworth.
I beg your pardon.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
I'm just saying that I'll go back to the basics, if that's what Mr. Edgeworth wants. I'll prove how badly he's underestimating me with a good old-fashioned cross-examination.
Ah, shit. Don't do that. No! Don't you even do that! Very well, let's see you put your money where your mouth is, Mr. Wright!
Okay, bring it on, Edgeworth!
God damn it, will you stop saying that again?
Okay, let's press. The autopsy report states that the estimated time of death was after the reception.
I've read the autopsy report too, you know.
Then you don't need me to explain it to you, right? How there's no way the victim could have been killed before the reception, I mean.
Detective Sky, I think you've overlooked something big.
I have!
Why don't you take another look at the evidence?
But I've already looked at all the evidence! And quite carefully, too, I'll have you know.
Detective Sky, do not be taken in by his verbal antics. He's simply bluffing, as always.
Right, sir.
The estimated time of death is correct. There's no way it could be wrong.
Is it possible that the culprit did something to obscure the real time of death?
No, not in this case. There's no snow or anything to keep the body from just decomposing. There's no fridge on that airship big enough to fit a body into.
So you've already checked into that, I see.
It all comes down to the estimated time of death, doesn't it? Couldn't the killer mess with the victim's time of death by keeping the body on ice?
Yeah, if they had a means to. The prosecution is treating the estimated time of death as an absolute. But is it really?
Take it if you don't think it is, huh, Nick? In that case, we're going to find a way to convince them otherwise.
Yeah, it's gotta be a way somehow.
Ah, I see. You used the dry ice to, make a fog-like vapor, but that was also used to keep the body in ice, right?
There's no way it could be wrong. Wait for it, wait for it.
Objection!
Booyah! Booyah, Emma. The myth of the estimated time of death does contradict my theory.
Finally! That means your theory that the victim was killed before the reception.
It's still entirely plausible.
Huh? What makes you think that?
The killer could have falsified the time of death by using a certain item in the reception hall. Please take a look at this.
And what is that? What is that contraption, Mr. Wright?
It's a fog machine, Your Honor, used to create a special romantic atmosphere in the hall.
And this machine could have been used to falsify the time of death.
Yes, Your Honor, because this machine uses dry ice to perform its magic.
Dry ice? Ah, yes, the super cold stuff commonly used to make theatrical fog, right? I see. So your claim is that this dry ice was used to keep the body cold.
Oh. In that case, I guess the victim could have been killed before the reception.
I am making a fool of Emma up there. Oh, well.
Order! Order this court! Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this development? Oh, I'm sorry I dozed off there.
That victim was killed in the hole before the wedding reception. The prosecution acknowledges the possibility of this claim.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Prosecution would also like to thank you, Mr. Wright.
Huh? For what?
You've fallen right into my trap, fool! This was my plan all along! I didn't know how a certain piece of evidence fit into this case. But now, thanks to you, I do.
What piece of evidence?
To get into the hold, one needs a keycard like this one. And here we have a record of those who entered the hole with such keycards. The times aren't specified, but these are the last 3 entries on the day of the murder. Wyatt, Pierce, NicoB, and Dumas Gloomsbury. And as you can see, the last person to enter that hole that day was the defendant.
What? It also Pierce NicoB.
So the one who moved the body out of the hole must have been... That's right. It was none other than the defendant. Okay. It's totally the fucking butler.
Hey, Nick, take a look at this entry record. There are a couple of other names on here besides Alan's.
Hey, you're right. According to the entry record, Mr. Edgeworth, Pierce NicoB had also gone into the hold. Isn't it possible that he could have been the culprit? Objection!
Sorry, but Mr. NicoB was escorting a few of the guests at the time. I'm sure they would be happy to testify to the fact if you'd like. Think me cocky all you'd like, Mr. Wright, but my confidence is rarely misplaced.
Ah! Could have used her card though, right?
If someone else used her card, they could essentially make it look like it was her. Now then, it's probably safe to assume that after killing the victim in the hold, the defendant moved his body to the hole in order to dispose of it discreetly.
What do you mean by discreetly?
The defendant volunteered to take care of the reception's cleanup personally. That means she would have had the chance to dispose of anything in any way she wanted, including taking the lantern off the airship without raising any suspicion. Don't tell me you didn't know about Miss White volunteering for cleanup duty, Mr. Wright.
No, I did.
For my last task as a servant in the Sprocket household, I offered to take all the preparation and clean up of the reception banquet.
I see.
Needs more salt!
Ah!
Ah! Look at you, sweating buckets like a rookie, even after all these years. Nevertheless, thank you for proving that the only person who could have killed the victim in the hold is... Ellen
on, Wyatt!
No! Great job, Phoenix. Now we're back to square one.
Oh, silly little buggerhead. Ha! Perhaps you should ask Miss Cykes for some help in reviewing Defense for Dummies.
Way to go, sir. You're the best.
Thank you, Emma. Now quit sucking up.
Got us right in a cold sweat.
Huh. I wonder if maybe the promise of seeing that miserable look on his face is what brought me back to court today. Ha ha ha. It feels good to be this demon powerful again. I'm evil again, everybody. Woo! It certainly made all my stress and woes as chief prosecutors melt away.
I guess he had a lot of stress built up.
God damn. Give him something to stress over before we're through today.
Your Honor, prosecution asks that you render your verdict at this time. For that man over there tries to throw the court into chaos with his meaningless bluffs. I see. Mr. Wright, are there any last meaningful bluffs you'd like to present to this court?
I just have to assume it'd be a bluff.
Nick, bluff! Hurry up and throw a good one out there.
I will. I don't know. Well, all right then. Let's see. I've got it. How do you know it was Miss White who used her key card? After all, if it turns out that somebody else used her card, it wouldn't mean Miss White didn't do it.
Interesting. And are you able to prove this bluff to be true?
I assure you, I'm not bluffing, Your Honor. Well, now what?
Wait a minute, Nick. I can think of a certain somebody who might have used Ellen's key card.
You can.
Remember? The one who was sticking around the hold, in spite of not being a family member.
Oh, that's right. Ugh. Your Honor, defense would like to call a certain witness to the stand. I need a testimony of this person. May have entered the whole Miss White's card. God damn it. Let's just get this over with.
Ah! That's your witness. God! Are you a masochist or something?
Yes, I know me more, Larry. Do it harder.
Are you saying that numbskull was on the airship? You never breathed a word about that to me.
Of course he doesn't. You gotta break him with your Magatama powers, which you don't have.
Ah!
So surprising, because Mr. NicoB told me to keep quiet about it. But Mr. Butts himself admitted it to me. He claimed to have found a new way to sneak into the Flying Chapel's hole to see Miss Wyatt. Yeah, dude, it was fucking easy. This photo he took and gave to me as proof.
Then what was it he who moved the lantern with the body inside of the reception hall?
You know as well as I that with him, anything is possible. And this is one possibility we should definitely look into.
I can't believe this. What in the world is he doing mixed up in this?
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Remember what we've been saying since elementary school? If it smells like asshole, it's fucking Larry.
When something smells, it's usually the butthole.
Exactly.
Ah! That Larry, he'll pay for this. I will fucking kill him one day.
And I will help you. Well, if you want to extract your payment now. He's robbed everything outright.
Guys! Oh my god, dude! I think they're talking about me, dude! Larry, get your fat ass down here. Barrel up! Seize the witch before he makes a run for it. I'm on energy. Come here. No, dude! Why is this so much happening to me? Get away from me, you weird white-haired freak! Come on, don't be difficult, Larry. You come here now. Oh my god! What the hell? Why are your skin so pale, dude? I don't get sun very often, motherfucker. To get over here! Now, bagel cuffs. Ah! I can't break out of these bagels! What are these made of? They're not made of anything. They're just really stale.
Sorry, Larry, but you brought this on yourself. You deserve to die today.
Let's break for a 15-minute recess. I said both sides prepare for the next witness's testimony during this time. Clear plunk. September 22nd, District Court, defendant number 3.
Wow, it's been a while since I've had this much fun and excitement. Face off against Mr. Edgeworth, a herring tightrope walk for the defense.
Oh, I'm exhausted already.
Boss, it's me. I'm here for the moral support.
Great. Athena, you're out on practicing for Trish's magic show. Thought you were dead.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I sort of ran away. But that's because she was putting my life in danger, I tell you.
I see. You'll need to have a one-on-one with her. Really athletic and fit, Athena. So Trish probably thinks she can run you ragged.
I am extra thick, sir. That may be true. Which is why not even Tristan can keep up with me when I run at full speed. Ha! Looks like you spoke too soon, Athena! Never underestimate the resourcefulness of a great magician! Huh? Oh god, no! Magical girl, Tristan Wright, is on the scene!
Did it.
No! Now, Athena, it's time to practice human combustion magic! Go on, douse yourself in this gasoline! But don't worry, it's a magic trick after all, so it's perfectly safe. I'm slowly turning into Himiko. Wait away! Hey you! You're not getting off that easily!
Thank you for the random aside, Athena.
Athena's dead. They get along so well, don't they?
Yay!
It reminds me of the good old days. You, me, and Pearly. Oh, and Detective Gumshoe.
Oh my god, we brought Gumshoe! Yay! I feel like we always have this bad habit of whenever we're like done with characters, if they don't show up in the game, we like never mention their existence ever again. Like when have we ever talked about Gado, or Dahlia, or Kristoff, or all these other great characters that now their games are done, we never bring up anymore. That's always kind of bugged me about these series. Well, at least we finally brought up Detective Gumshoe, and if he likely won't show up at all during this case.
Oh, Detective Gumshoe, can't forget him. We had all kinds of fun at this crime scenes back then, remember?
Yeah, it was always so much fun dealing with murder. Let me do all the serious investigating, I recall.
Curl back in session, Mr. Wright.
Right, thank you. All right, this is a really pointless break.
So there's the next witness, right? Can't wait to see what happens next.
Sadly, I can already imagine it. Seriously, what the fuck was the point of that break?
Hey, remember those good times?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Athena comes out.
Oh, help me! Okay, bye!
So my second is record number 6! Sup, dude? Oh, god damn it. Fucking Larry's on the stand again. Great. Great. I already want to die. Car will now reconvene. Oh, Nick, dude, I'm gonna shit my pants, bro. Hey, Nick, I tell you, you're gonna hang me out to dry, are you? It's gonna let me fucking die. Oh, I'm so tempted to, Larry. Can we just please put him in jail, make him the bad guy? You know what? I'd be totally all right with that. Yeah, you know what? Me too. If you're gonna plant some evidence, I am all for it. Okay, just do it. I'm just gonna look the other way. You guys do what you gotta do, and let me throw this piece of shit in jail. No, not the both of us. Just Mr. Wright. Nick, how could you, dude? I don't really think he did it, of course, but I've got to use whatever leads I can. Mr. Butts, there's a possibility you moved the lantern that had the dead body in it, you piece of fucking garbage. So if you want to clear yourself of any suspicion, all you have to do is testify. Now then, your testimony, please, witness. Better not be fucking stupid. Oh, my kid, I guess it'll be fucking stupid. Nick is a jerk face, dude! Nick, you big fat stinking jerk! How can you tell your best bud? We're not just as elementary school. Well, you kicked into this, pal. Our friendship's over. Okay, great. Yeah, how many times have you said that to me, Larry, and then you come crying back to me later, all right? Because you realize you're all alone. You have no friends. Nobody loves you. You're gonna die all alone. That's it. That's the fucking testimony. God damn it. I am gonna fucking smash his head in with this gavel. Yeah, that's about what I expected. That's what you get, right? Well, go ahead, Mr. Wright. He's all yours. Why me? You're the one who called him to the stand, so it's your responsibility. Thanks, old chum. Can't any of you show me a little respect? You're just a shred, dude. You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Wright. I would if there was any testimony to cross-examine. All right, time to press, I guess. God damn it, Larry. Bring it on, Larry. That's right, this is directed at you. Nick, it's a jerk face, dude. You big fat stinking jerk, dude. Like, what the blah, blah, blah. Hold it. What do you mean by big fat stinking? Come on, Larry. Can you please give me something real to work with? Don't think I don't know about your tricks. This is so careless. You can shove some evidence at me with a loud objection and a super smug look on your face. Yeah, well, that is my job. If I get found guilty, how do you take responsibility for what you've done? Why should I take responsibility for just doing my job? You heartless jerk! Don't you have any compassion for me? No, I really don't. How can you doubt your best bud? We've known each other since elementary school. Don't remind me. Sorry, Mr. Butts, but if it wasn't Miss Wyatt that entered the hole with that card, then you're the most likely suspect.
Nick! Are you seriously doubting the innocence of your old childhood friend?
Well, technically, yes. But it isn't personal, I assure you.
A true fan would believe me no matter what. Can't you see my tears? Don't they mean anything to you?
No, because you do it all the time. I don't know how you... I think you just cry. You can cry in instinct.
Nick! Nick!
You don't really think you can cry your way out of this, do you?
Okay, fine. In that case, I've got one other thing to say to you. Suck my big old Larry dick, bro. Get this pal friendship's over.
Hold on. What friendship? Larry, listen to me.
Just shut up. I'm not talking to you anymore.
It's getting us nowhere. Come off it, Larry! Get off your dumb fucking high horse! If you don't quit fooling around and start testifying, Miss White will be found guilty!
For real? I don't know. I think I'd rather just stand here and make my weird face, dude.
No new information comes out of this cross-examination. Then yes, Mr. Butts, for realsies. Not that I would have a problem with that myself. She deserves to die, and so do you, Larry.
Larry, just tell us the truth already! Did you or didn't you go to the hold and move a lantern to the reception hall?
I never moved into Bull Lantern, I tell you!
Bull lantern? Lantern?
What? Is this so weird?
You told me that you didn't attend the wedding reception.
Can you believe they told me only family and relatives could attend? They wouldn't even let me into the reception hall. Yeah, so what?
And that's odd. No one in this court ever mentioned the sex of the lantern that was moved. How could you know that it was a bull lantern?
Didn't actually have to go to the reception to know that. Anyone can tell there were two Pegables running in the Fly Chapel's pamphlet.
All I can tell right now is that there's a strong scent of bull in the air here. Please add that last image to your testimony, Mr. Butts. Okay, here we go.
Okay, anyone tell her two Pegables that looking at the fucking pamphlet. In the pamphlet there are... Nope.
Objection!
There's a cow and a bull and a bull and a cow. I want you to take a look at this, Mr. Butts. Because unfortunately for you, the pamphlet clearly shows a pega cow and a pega bull in their example diagram of the reception hall.
Huh?
But on that day, instead of putting a pega cow and pega bull out for the bride and groom, there were two male pega bulls on display. Yet somehow you knew there were two pega bulls in the reception hall that day. There's only one way you would have known something like that, Larry. It was you who moved the pega bull to the reception hall, wasn't it?
No, you goddamn it, Larry! Larry, you didn't. Mr. Butts, you moved the lantern containing the victim's body in the reception hall!
That's what it looks like, dude!
What?
I'm gonna guess something like he broke the other one and he was trying to replace it or something.
Wait, Nick! You don't think I'm the murderer, do you?
Maybe you and Mr. Gloomsbury were fighting over Miss Wyatt and you ended up killing him?
Oh my god, please let that be the truth, Larry! It's the truth, isn't it? You must realize, those two ladies and those two guys were in the exact same outfit. The lady wearing two blue dresses. The other ones are wearing the Doug shirt.
Maya, not you too! Look, I didn't sing at the reception. That's as far as it went, alright? I mean, I might have stuffed some drugs up that bull lantern's ass, but that's as far as it went, okay? And later went and sucked the waiter's dick for 20 bucks, but seriously, that's as far as it goes, okay? You know me, I wear hair fly!
You snuck into the reception?
Yeah, sure. But some of the sprocket men called and looked me up in one of the cabins. It was pretty awful, actually. That's why I saw a pterodactyl, dude. That's why I saw yes! That's why I made a drawing of the pterodactyl and showed you, Nick!
X on the aerodactyl tape, Larry.
Mr. Wright, not even you would take this farce that far, would you?
Yeah, are you kidding me? We are talking about Larry. What do? Do I accuse Larry of being the true culprit? Of Q's him, yes, he did it. He totally did it. No. No, you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Butts didn't have a reason to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. I would love to accuse Larry, but no. Might have had an imaginary reason to kill Soren Sprocket, sure, but not Mr. Gloomsbury.
After all, I did steal Mr. Sprocket's bride and try to elope with her.
Just because I tried to steal somebody's bride doesn't make me murder, dude. Just a different kind of piece of shit. I believe you, Larry, and I don't think you killed anybody either. You would never do anything like that. Nick! Oh, buddy, oh, pal! I'm still throwing your ass at Jello. No! I need you to come through for me. Funny that, considering your sworn testimony just now that we're through.
Mr. Butts, it's time you told this court the whole truth. Understood?
Okay, time for me to lie some more then. Okay, move the lantern. Just like Nick said, I'm the one who moved the lantern. I was walking around the reception hall before the main event. I saw a lantern was broken. There was a note on it that said, exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen. So I decided to do Ellie a favor.
Huh, oh. Damn it! You had to say it was written by her. So you switched the lanterns before the reception, did you? That means the victim really was killed before the reception. Oh, thank you, Larry. It would appear that Mr. Butts completely fell for the defendant's scheme.
Scheme? What scheme?
This note from the defendant, exchanged with the one in the hold, Ellen. Mr. Butts moved the lantern with the body in it up to the reception hall because of this note, and thus he's become a suspect in Mr. Gloomsbury's murder.
Go! That second lantern did feel pretty heavy. There was a lot of red stuff leaking out of it. I just thought it was candle wax. But I never would have thought there was a dead body in it.
What was a note like that doing in the lantern in the first place?
You got it all wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. I left the note for myself. I was simply a reminder because I can't be very forgetful.
Objection. What a sorry excuse, Miss Wyatt. Prosecution contends that this note shows one facet of the defendant's murder's plan. And you, Mr. Butts, you played right into Miss Wyatt's hands like the dumb idiot you are.
No, Angie! I don't believe it!
Objection!
Do you still really believe Miss Wyatt to be the culprit, Edgeworth?
Huh! Of course. My stance on the matter remains unchanged. If you think I'm wrong, then prove it with your cross-examination.
Gladly.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Okie dokie, Smokey.
Okay, bring it on, Edgeworth, yet again.
Swear to God, if you keep saying that again.
Okay, there's a note on it that said exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen. Press him on that.
The note wasn't addressed to you, was it? Well, I guess not, but I can let my dear sweet Ellie do all the hard physical labor on her own.
It's precisely that thought process that constantly gets you in trouble, Larry.
Besides, it was my big chance to show her how much I cared. Look at me, dude. I did one simple thing for you. Therefore, you should fall in love with me.
So I decided to do Ellie a favor.
Nobody saw you the whole time while you were switching the lanterns. Nope, I didn't get caught. Not that time, anyway.
Not that time.
Yeah, when I tried to sneak into the reception hall the first time, I didn't have as much luck. The Spark guys can spot me and nab me, beat the living shit out of me. It really sucked, dude.
Oh my God, I would have paid to see that.
Oh my God, what the hell, dude? My guy just like punched me right in the dick.
All my words are failing me right now.
Pretty excited, don't you think?
Larry, you need help.
And then they locked me up in one of the cabins. Nick, what are you asking about stuff like this for anyway? Should we try to prove Ellie's innocence?
Well, is that statement of is important to the case? Of course it is. Mr. Butts trying to crash the reception and subsequently getting locked up in a cabin. I believe that these might be important facts in the case, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Butts. Please add statement to your testimony.
I just realized in this picture of this woman here, there's the watch on the table. That's the one that Pierce was looking at before.
I bet that's gonna play into something later. Okay, I'm not really getting anything from this yet, so I may have to see a precedent on it. So you got locked up. Then what happened? I broke out! Then I started looking for Ellie and wandered into the reception hall again. That's when I saw the broken lantern and replaced it. Even after they caught you and locked you up, you still went looking for Miss Wyatt. How'd you break out? But hold on a minute.
What is it, Nick?
Maya, does something seem weird to you? Larry's saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin.
That's right. Oh, wait. Huh? You're right. Doesn't make much sense, does it?
Mr. Wright, have you found an inconsistency in the witness statement? Blah. Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. Mr. Butts moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin. But that contradicts with this. Wheeled out before the reception began. Is that? Yes, it's the broken lantern, Your Honor. Mr. Butts, what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all. What? Why not? You swapped the lanterns before the reception began, right? Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it? But you also just said that you swapped the lanterns after you got locked up in a cabin for trying to sneak into the reception. In other words, you're saying you swapped the lanterns both before the reception and after the reception took place. That certainly doesn't make any sense, does it? Mr. Butts, you swapped the lanterns before or after the reception? Hold on, let me put my weird face on. Damn it, Larry! Which was it, before or after? There's a world of difference between the two. Well, Mr. Butts. I guess I can't expect guys like you to understand. In a nutshell, it was both before and after the reception, because of fucking time travel, dude. What? I tried to sneak into the first reception and got locked up. The first reception? Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. And then, through the power of Ellie's pendant, time got rewound, and we went back to the time before the reception. It was after that when I replaced the lantern. So it was both before reception and after reception. Get it? Dude, I'm a fucking genius, dude. We went back in time to before the reception. And also I guess far enough back in time to that I saw a fucking pterodactyl. So of course the reception would take place one more time after that, right? That's why I said it makes perfect sense, dude.
Larry, I swear to God, I'm gonna smack you with this big hand of mine. Mr. Wright, what in the world is the witness talking about? Has he developed some sort of intellectual ailment I'm not aware of since I last saw him?
Yes, that's totally it. Well.
No, the sprocket seem to remember the time skip, but I do. But that might just be the cocaine in my system. And Ellie remembers it too. I think the power of our love for each other made that miracle happen.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but could you please translate this mass jumper so the rest of us can understand? So now I have to be the one to explain about the whole time travel thing. No, I don't want to.
Go on, Nick, I know you can do it, dude.
Looks like you don't have much choice, Nick.
Tag with it. I can't lose any more of my DNA tonight anyway. Larry was smoking crack, Your Honor.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that explains everything.
Defendant Miss Ella White has told the defense the following strange story. She said that after the reception ended, she was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury. Then she wished upon a star. She claims that as she was being assaulted, she made a wish upon her pendant. Please take me back to the blissful moment, back to the past, Samurai Jack. In doing so,
Watch out!
Tom apparently rewound itself to just before the reception began.
It what?
I know it's hard to believe, and I don't believe it either, but think about it this way. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. They're the power of the pendant, but Ellen White and Larry Butts experience time travel.
Objection! No! What absolute rubbish! Mr. Wright, I've heard my fair share of your nonsense over the years, but this takes the cake. Have you thoroughly lost your dumb demon mind?
No, I have not lost my dumb demon mind. This is simply the conclusion I came to, using that logic ability you love so much. That logic chest of yours.
What?
The truth of the matter is, the future president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket, has been researching the time machines. So if a time machine has been successfully created, and created Steins Gate, and And what if that's one of Sprocket Aviation's top secret inventions? A time machine? Oh, sweet!
Yeah, I saw something while we were time traveling. I saw a pterodactyl fly through the sky, dude. It must have been a pterodactyl. Maybe the airship was sent to travel through time for the honeymoon trip. What? A pterodactyl? You mean like the club Aerodactyl? Oh my god! I knew it was real.
You were on drugs when that happened too, Your Honor.
Oh, that's right. Oh, God. Oh, you guys remember all that shit? A lot of crazy stuff happened at Apollo Justice.
You can't possibly have any evidence to back up your ridiculous time travel story.
Well,
No, I'm not letting this happen. Huh, as I thought. In any case, I now have the evidence to prove that you're no more intelligent than Larry.
Hey, you take that back. Hold it, dude. Not so fast now, Edgy. I'm not the same old Larry you used to know.
Yes, you are.
Okay, maybe I am, but you know what? This crack I have in my system is, I think opened up my mind, man. I can see shit now that I couldn't before.
Oh.
I've got superpowers now, Edgy. You want evidence? I got your evidence right here, bitch. This is a photo I secretly took at the first reception.
What?
Whoa, what did you show to me, Larry?
See, for no reason at all, Larry never shows or tells anyone anything. It's just like, and that's the thing, there's never a fucking reason for it. It's like one of the reasons why I fucking hate Larry. It's like, he just chooses not to tell anyone because fuck you. I'm sure people were like, well, no, he's doing it because he doesn't want to go to jail or something like that. When has he ever gone to jail, though? He's been doing this 8 million fucking times now.
That's because I've chosen not to tell anybody anything. It's just reinforcing my bad behavior, Nico.
It's fucking stupid, all right? Your character's stupid and I hate you.
I can't believe you. Well, anyway, good job.
Here are the photos of the first and second receptions. You can find a difference. Then we'll be able to prove that reception was held twice.
But do you really think so? A difference exists?
Blah. Yes, Your Honor. I just need some time to find it for you. They're like those things in the newspaper. They're like finding the 6 differences between these pictures. It's preposterous. It's outrageous and great. It's preposterous.
Very well, please show the court what's different then.
Gotta see the picture first. This is proof that the wedding reception was held twice.
Oh, the bouquet's a different color.
Take that!
Boom. Please direct your attention to Miss White's bouquet of flowers. The photo of her in-laws took. The defendant is holding a yellow bouquet. When the photo Mr. Butts took, she's holding a red bouquet. That's photoshopped!
You're right!
That's impossible! Impossible!
What does this mean?
It means that the defendant really did experience 2 wedding receptions. And she did that when she traveled back through time.
Ah! Oh my god, this is so fucking stupid. Fuck me.
Nick! You did it! You proved Ellen's time travel story to be totally true!
Yeah, I'm sure it's just absolutely 100% what happened. Yeah, I can hardly believe it myself. I'm sorry, this is just fucking stupid to me.
I hope I'm not the only one who just finds this totally fucking ridiculous.
Just as Dylan said, the reception was held twice. This turns every assumption we base this child trial on upside doodly, just like it always does. Objection! I refuse to accept such a ludicrous argument. It is pure fiction under the guise of pseudoscience at best. There's simply no such thing as time travel. I know it's hard, but can you suspend your disbelief for 1 nanosecond, Edgeworth?
This sci-fi movies push all your buttons the wrong way, don't they, Mr. Edgeworth? I can totally picture you yelling. That never happened every 5 seconds into the screen. Maybe you should stay away from movie dates altogether.
That's neither here nor there. Shut up, Maya. This is real life we're talking about.
The proof is clearly shown in the 2 photographs. That's all it takes to convince me. Time travel is totally real now.
That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how you look at it. Fine. I'll entertain your absurd illusion, if only to demolish it before your very eyes. What? Let's start with this then, shall we? There's one thing your time travel theory fails to explain. Ooh, waggle my finger at you. And that is the memories of the other guests there. The defendant and Larry remember the reception occurring twice, but no member of the Sprocket family has even mentioned such a thing. the time machine is classified.
I'm not done, you burr-brain.
Burr-brain!
As I was saying, if the entire family had been sworn to secrecy, then why hadn't they sworn the woman who was marrying into the family to secrecy too?
That's a good point.
Honestly, all it takes is a little common sense, Mr. Wright. Even still, how do we know that the trip through time did not really occur? There's proof in the photos that it did. And besides, if time travel doesn't exist, well, I'll be a little disappointed, frankly. What a buzzkill. I was hoping to go back to what time of my youth? Is that what you just said? We keep randomly auto-scrolling through this shit. Yeah, the days of my youth. You must allow yourself to be taken in by Mr. Wright's whimsical tales, Your Honor. You will be old forever. Not that you've ever actually been young. I'm pretty sure you look like that when you were a baby. Yes, you're right. Even as an infant, I always had this glorious beard. I've read about it in various literature, you see. And they all say that time travel is just not logically feasible.
My argument was just a little too nonsensical, Nick.
You think, Maya? Well, in that case, why don't we put common sense to the test?
Excuse me?
The wedding reception was held twice. Photos are proof of that. But it wasn't because of the time travel. It's simply because the reception had actually been held twice. Isn't that the most reasonable way to interpret the situation?
Would you care to elaborate, Mr. Wright?
Time travel doesn't exist, and there's only one way to make sense of what happened. Somebody must have orchestrated this strange phenomenon. Now somebody is.
Oh my god! Everyone at the reception. Bloomsbury. The gods! The gods themselves! No, you know, I gotta say that. I have to fucking say that.
And that somebody is. The gods themselves! Have orchestrated this whole thing. Boom! Such a mysterious phenomenon could only have been caused by the gods themselves!
I suppose the gods would be able to rewind time. That makes perfect sense, Mr. Wright. Or make the wedding reception happen twice, wouldn't they?
Indeed they would, Your Honor.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please bring the gods here to testify before this court.
Maya, you think you could?
Not a chance! Dad and I have been on talking terms in a while, ever since I tried to channel Jesus!
On behalf of the gods who can't be here today, please ask the divine punishment!
I knew I was rich for that one, but it's alright, I just did it for the hilarious response. Worth it! Okay, it means everyone at the reception was in on it. Maybe ordered by Pierce or something. What if all the guests of the reception conspired together? Told the reception twice to keep quiet about it.
What? And for what purpose would they conspire to do such a thing?
Well, for the pterodactyl.
Brilliant deduction, defense.
Who was that?
Oh, it was me. I can tell that you are not a known lawyer for nothing. I must say, I underestimated you.
How so, Mr. NicoB?
You have managed to name each event precisely as they happened. You have revealed it all to the light of day.
Then, that means?
It was us. We orchestrated the whole thing. Yes, reception was held twice. But not because of time travel, no. We simply held it a second time.
What? Why? Why would you do such a thing? 'Cause I'm fucking evil!
To make it as though the murder Miss Ellen committed never happened. Master Soren figured that if Miss Ellen, who killed Miss Bloomsbury after the first reception, experienced the reception one more time, she would think it was all a dream. It was he who ordered us to make it happen. However, only a few, myself included, knew of Miss Ellen's crime.
Are you saying most of the guests attended two receptions without knowing why?
Indeed, they needed no reason. Master Soren told them to do it, and do what they did. That is the Sprocket way.
Then who hid the body in the lantern?
We did. But we did not anticipate the pedals finding their way in, nor the actions of Mr. Butts.
In fact, you intend to cover the whole situation up.
There's just one thing everyone here is wrong. The real scene of the murder was not the hold. It was the Vista Deck.
What? Then Miss White's recollection of the events must be correct.
I admit we tried to cover this incident up. But the fact that Miss Ellen killed Miss Gloomsbury is undeniable.
Dude, doesn't that mean you guys would go to jail too then? This is quite a turn of events!
That was me laughing. And so it appears we have arrived at the truth at last.
Now!
Please do feel free to travel back in time, Mr. Wright, and attempt to do this trial over again. Go on, do it!
Let's not get hasty, Edgeworth.
Do what they do in those Zero Escape games. I bet you can't do it.
I bet I can't either!
Your Honor, we will have to hold a separate trial for the cover-up conspiracy later, which we will actually probably never do. But as far as this case goes, I believe we are ready for your ruling.
Objection!
No! Just before that event, lost consciousness during her attack. She says she's also want to strike the victim. It's possible this third party is the true culprit.
You still want us to believe the defendant's words? Perhaps you've lost more than your touch during your time abroad. This third-person nonsense is nothing but rubbish, and you know it.
But by the same token, how can we trust those who conspired and fly to the fullest court of law? For all we know, they might still be hiding something.
Ha! Never know when to quit, do you? Now, calm down, both of you. Don't make me send you both to timeout. In any case, there isn't enough trustworthy information yet for me to render a verdict. I suggest we continue the trial after both sides investigate the matter further. That means an investigation day 2. Ah! Very well, Your Honor.
That was close.
Mr. NicoB, as for you and your cohort's attempts to cover up this crime, your case will be brought to a separate trial following the resolution of this current one.
Understood, Your Honor.
Well then, this concludes today's trial. Course adjourned! Fuck off, everyone! Come back with some fucking evidence!
To be continued.
Okay. Yeah, I still think it's gonna end up being Pierce NicoB, so that's probably why we won't bring it up later, because he'll be tried for this and already be in jail. So who gives a shit, right?
Looks like you're just gonna get executed a second fucking time, motherfucker!
Okay, well, good news. At least we sort of tossed the time travel thing out the window, I guess. Although we still haven't brought up the pterodactyl shit.
I kind of figured it might be some inside, like, cover-up, since everyone that was there was Sprocket related, right? So if one of the Sprocket people ordered them to do something, they'd probably do it.
But alright guys, I think we're gonna end things here for now. Anyway, like if you guys enjoyed this episode, subscribe now, come Picky Penguin, or this will be where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always guys, till next time, stay classy!